Alright guys, so I'll be talking to you guys about a topic. It's called a bit of a controversial topic, and I don't really care. It's called lane splitting, or lane filtering as it is called in the UK. Now if you guys don't know what lane splitting is, or for car drivers who don't ride motorcycles who don't know exactly what I mean by lane splitting is motorcycles passing through cars that are slowly moving, so let's say under 40 kilometers an hour, or at a complete stop sitting in a queue. That would be motorcycles being able to go between the cars when they're almost stopped or at a slow speed. Now a lot of you guys might say, that's dangerous, they're coming so close to the cars, blah blah blah. Well, you have to understand, number one, motorcycles are way more agile than cars. They can slip through some pretty tight spots. All they literally need is about a 2-foot room. And number two, if they're doing it at slow speed, it actually increases safety. There's a study done between different states where lane splitting was legal and lane splitting was not. For example, California is legal, and they actually found that in California there's a lot less rear-end accidents. Also, if you look at it from a demographic standpoint, most of the world, you know, including most of Europe, lane splitting is legal. Another reason, other than safety, why lane splitting needs to become legal is, I mean, for you guys who live in the GTA, you know, oh, what the fuck are you doing? You must understand, you know, you must relate. We have a giant infrastructure and traffic around here. It's a nightmare. It's a living fucking nightmare, to say the least. And part of the problem, I think, of course, is we don't have enough roads to support the population. You know, meaning our highways haven't expanded as needed, and of course our public transportation system is a nightmare. But another problem, one way, but of course, you know, improving our public transportation system is expensive, improving our highways is expensive. But this is one thing that doesn't cost us much money, and that is to legalize lane splitting. You know, I recommend all of you to look up the Belgium study. Showing, you know, talking about motorcycles, how only 10% of car drivers use motorcycles for daily transport. We could reduce congestion by 40%. So anyhow, yes, I know we can't ride here year-round like Belgium because we live in like absolutely whack job kind of climate, but it's a good start. It's a start, alright? It's a start, and you know, still you can ride here for most of the year, and that doesn't excuse all the Scandinavian countries that of course you can still lane split, even though they might be able to ride even less long than we can, because heck, they have snow longer than the GTA, I think, actually, depending where you live, in the Scandinavian countries, the north or the south. Now another thing too, is you might say, well, I don't want to ride a motorcycle, it's dangerous. No, well, look, anyhow, if people, I think that if lane splitting was legal, there'd be a lot more people riding motorcycles to begin with, simply because they don't have to sit and basically risk their life by having someone almost rear-end them at an intersection, or now, second, the thing you have to realize too is, I think that if lane splitting was legalized, there probably would be more motorcycles, because it'd be an incentive to not sit in traffic all day with your car. And Mr. Mercedes, please stay there. Thank you. It would also allow greater safety for motorcycles also, so That would be another reason why there would be more riders. Now a lot of you, even motorcycles, might say, well, how are we gonna, you know, get enough public support over here to change these laws, to change this stupid law that motorcycles have to sit in traffic and can't lane split? Well, because you might say, oh, we're such a small part of the riding, you know, such a small part of vehicles on the road. Well, what we have to understand is if we all join together in a campaign similar to that of Australia, I think it could happen. If we, as motorcyclists in Ontario, all came together as a group and petitioned the government and, you know, started a nice, big, large media campaign talking about why lane splitting has to be legalized, I think that this law could be changed. What we need to do is to focus on the safety aspect of what we need to do is to focus on is to, you know, be upfront with people and say, look, we clearly have a congestion problem, and lane splitting would not only help motorcyclists get to work faster, but also help car drivers get there faster because it's less space taken on the road. We also have to explain to people how it's dangerous for motorcyclists in traffic because their bike can overheat, because it puts you in a vulnerable position where you basically have to trust that a car driver is not on their cell phone and they're not texting and driving, you know, and they're actually paying attention and anticipating what's, you know, in front of them. Because if you get rear-ended, it's one of the hard, you know, because rear-end collisions are one of the hardest type of accidents to prevent. And it's also one of the most deadly type of accidents, typically. So we need to make them understand that, you know, we're already vulnerable. We're vulnerable as motorcyclists, and we need to let motorcyclists have a bit of assertion on the road. And we need to, and like a lot of car drivers, they seem to think that means motorcyclists can fly through traffic at like flying speeds when they're all stopped. No. What I mean by lane filtering is motorcycles can go between cars at maybe 15 kilometers or 20 kilometers faster than what they're doing, something like that. Basically fast enough to get through the queue, not at flying speeds. Fast enough that they could brake if someone opened their door or somebody suddenly decided to change lane. And car drivers have to understand, motorcycles are very agile. They've got amazing brakes. They've got amazing turning ability and dodging abilities. I drive a car, and I can tell you it's nowhere near the amount of control that you have on a bike. Nowhere near. You can't move around in a lane on your car. You can't slow down quickly in a car. You can't accelerate quickly in a car, but a motorcycle can. Right? So anyhow, I believe that we could get this law changed, but we need to show people the studies, and we need to show them, you know, how it increases safety, how it increases traffic flow. The Belgium study, the study comparing the different states in the U.S. where lane splitting is legal and not, and showing them how it's safer in California to ride because of that. We need to make them understand that we're one of the few countries in the world that doesn't allow lane splitting, and we need to make the public aware that, you know, this is going to be a thing, and they're going to have to get more used to seeing motorcycles on the road. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed my video. It's cold, it's getting cold again, and it's windy, and I can hardly hear myself think. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too boring. But, yeah, thanks for watching.